Hi, I'm Alyssa, and welcome to Alyssa's Bakery. Today on this episode, we're going to be making chocolate fudge brownies. These are amazing. The first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then you want to take a 9x13 pan and grease it. Now, you don't have to put this on here, but you can put parchment paper or whatever you like, but I use aluminum foil. And then I take baker's joy. This is amazing. It's like my new best friend. Nothing sticks. You want to shake it, and you want to coat the bottom, on the sides, everywhere. So after you're done, just put that to the side. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the stove, and you're going to put your stove to low, and you need 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks. Now, usually, sometimes recipes, you need the butter to be room temperature or cold. In this case, it doesn't really matter. It's going to go on the stove anyway and get melted. So you're just going to add your butter. This has been sitting out for a while, so it's kind of sticky. So you're just going to add it in and get it melted. And after it's melted, I'm going to add the sugar and I'll be right back. So I've got my butter completely melted, and now we're going to add our sugar. Now this is 2 1/4 cups of sugar, but even though it's my first episode, I'm always going to put my measurements and how to do the whole entire recipe on the bottom underneath, so don't worry. So what you're going to do is you're just going to mix this completely. Get it all until it's not all, you can't see the sugar and it's all dissolved. Now actually what you're going to do after this, you're going to return this mixture to the heat. Now what this does is it dissolves the sugar even more and makes this, it's going on the top of brownies when it's done. It's going to make it a very shiny look, and it's going to be really beautiful. As you can see, my butter and sugar mixture has been on the stove for about a minute or so. And I don't know if you can clearly see this, but there's bubbles right around the edge, so that's where you want to stop. So I'm going to take this off the heat, and go over to the stove, counter, and you're just going to put all of this into a fairly large bowl. Now you're going to add your cocoa. And now in this little glass I have baking powder and salt. I'm going to add that in, and some vanilla. Now you're going to mix this in, just till it's all nice and incorporated. Okay, now that that's all done, you need 4 eggs, and I like to crack my egg into a separate bowl because if you crack your egg right in there and you get a shell, it's going to be really hard to stick your fingers in and get an eggshell out. So as you can see, I have my 4 eggs cracked in the second bowl. I'm just going to add those in, and I'm going to switch to a whisk, and just mix that in. So once you've got your eggs all mixed in, you're going to add your last 2 ingredients, which are your flour, and your chocolate chips. And you're just going to beat, or just mix. Okay, so everything's combined, and the last step is just you're going to spoon your batter into your pan. Now as you can see on the tin foil, I left it very an overhang on the side so that when you take your brownies out, you can just lift it out and there's no problem with taking it out of the pan. Okay, I've got my brownie mixture nice and leveled off in the pan. You just brush it all, the sides, get it all nice and even. Now we're just going to put this in your oven and you're going to bake for about 28 minutes. And you can use a wooden pick or a cake tester like I have here, and do that because they're fudgy. When you put it in there, a couple of crumbs are going to come off on the little cake tester. But it doesn't mean if a whole glob of brownies comes off, it doesn't mean that it's done. So you just want to make sure that a couple crumbs on there. So that's good. So I'm just going to wait for that to bake and I'll be right back. So my brownies have cooled completely and they baked for about 29 minutes. And now I'm going to just cut them. Now, neat little trick, when you're cutting brownies, usually most people just use a regular knife. But actually, when you use a regular knife and you cut through the brownies, sometimes some stuff comes off in the brownies. If you use a plastic knife, nothing comes out. So, you get more brownies. So I'm just going to cut. Now, depending on what you're making this for, you can cut them small, big, whatever you like. So, I'm just going to cut a couple right here. See, nothing comes off, perfectly clean. So, I'm just going to take a little spatula there, put it on a serving plate. Now, just to garnish, this is completely optional. You can put some powdered sugar, or some people call confectioners or icing sugar. Just going to put it on there. Now I'm going to take a bite to tell you how it tastes. I think they're very fudgy. They're so good. They're amazing. You have to try these. So get in your kitchen and make these. See you next time. Bye!